March 25th. They are doing something over there on the corner. They're actually adding. The ladies that I know that that cleans, does the maintenance around here, she was telling me that there are some more places coming up. That corner unit down over yonder over there, that used to be Sephora. A couple of years, no, shoot, 7 years ago, left the Paseo and they moved location down to Old Town. Well, of course, where there's quite a few, like Forever 21 was here, and then their little sub-sister, I think it was called Blue or something else, they folded and left. Well, there's Gelson's over here, and so many other places actually left and went to Old Town. But I'm not exactly sure as to what is going to replace Sephora over there. But the two biggest ones is actually the former Gelson's behind me and the old Victoria's Secrets / Pinks. That is a huge empty space. Plus, not to mention everything that is down over on that side. That whole place has become like kind of like the dead side of a mall. That is the dead side of the mall. But they're doing something. And Panini, they're well up and running and actually quite popular, which is a good thing. Kind of reminds me of the old when Great Maple first opened up. It didn't take any time, not even 24 hours, and they were just like really popular. America's Talent is back again. They got a huge crew today. They definitely got I'm seeing that they're going to do one of their nighttime filming things like they did about 4 or 5 months ago. And I say this because they have the two big, huge cranes. And the last time that they did that, they had, what do you call it? They had the drones and everything. Some charter vehicles over there. Generators are moving around. Some people in line. And there's something going on still over there. It's been going on for about a week, I'd say. I don't know. Tour group? Students? Maybe. Oh, maybe they're gonna do the... Oh, shoot. Maybe. They'll have little goodie bags. Looks like their lunch snack. But any hoots it. They got the group check-in over here. They got VIP check-in over here. And they got some other miscellaneous check-in over here. Well, it's pretty busy over here today. Oh, where'd they come from? Then we got some more folks over here. Look at it, they're coming in by the droves. Of course, they bust them in. And everyone's like over here dressed in black, so maybe a choir or something. I'm sure they're probably like gotta be like a singing group, right? You get the food cart. Hey, the food cart's making pretty good today. There's one of the property managers keeping an eye on the vendor, and the young folks make sure there's like no destruction or something. Champlies. I, for one, honestly, am just happy that post-lockdown, not post-COVID, post-lockdown. I know, I always say this. Post-lockdown. COVID had nothing to do with it, y'all. You know this. we've talked about this from the whole freaking fucking thing. Not just me, but everybody else. Those that were smart enough. But, you know, the whole thing was just fucked up, and a lot of people got confused and scared. I get it. I understand. I fucking victimized myself too. And I had to go get the jabby jab just so I could have been able to have gotten on Amtrak, or else I wouldn't have been able to get on Amtrak. And then, big joke on me, didn't get the transfer, and then nothing happened. The ex said forget it, and then I was left with the jabby jab in my body. So but anyway, Pasadena has really, after fucking creepy Newsom lifted the orders like fucking 2 years later, while everybody else, the whole country, has already commenced opening up, Pasadena has rapidly, and I mean rapidly, been coming back. Not just in Old Town. Old Town has really exploded more so, and I think that's another reason why a lot of the vendors are going to Old Town and going over to South Lake and over on the shops on South Lake. Well, it's my lunch, didn't finish it. But more so, no one else more than the Civic Auditorium and the Convention Center, Civic Auditorium. It's more or less all the same, but no one else other than this has been really doing really well since everything else has come back up. So that's pretty cool. We'll see. But Pasadena has gotten more greedy. They just, like everybody else in Los Angeles wants to ticket more. They're not getting enough revenue. Well, they are getting enough revenue, so where the fuck is that revenue going? Where's all of this revenue that they're going? And Pasadena has been ticketing like mad dogs. So again, why are they going so ticket crazy? And they're not cheap, and they're pretty on it. You can try and argue your way out of it when you like come across, like if you're renting your car and you got one of the city workers that are ticketing you, I just missed it. You can try and argue, but for the most part, they are pretty standing. They're very steadfast, and you will get your ticket. They are really humming along. My friend over here, who's like, I think he's like the main guy, the main manager. He was telling me about what they're going to be putting in. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I saw the AT&T. There is a boba joint that is going. I think they're splitting half of the old Sephora, and that's where the wooden partition, the outcropping is that they're building. They're gonna be stretching upstairs a couple of the salons and everything. They're gonna be bringing one of the baby shops, or the main baby shop, the Butterfly. They're gonna be bringing it back out over here this way. They're gonna be putting a couple of more places over there in the dead zone, the dead part of the mall. They're actually gonna be putting in an escape room. So this whole place is gonna be coming up really well, a lot better than it has been in the past over the course of the last years, ever since everybody's been, the whole exodus of everything else. And he's just going on, and I'm like, there's so many changes that are coming up too. So, and I was telling him, yeah, I go, it's kind of crazy, because we just need something. We need something that's really, aside from Regal, something that is just family oriented for entertainment. Even if it wasn't like an arcade or a mini Dave's type of a place or everything, you know, something that not just the children but the whole family can enjoy. So I think the revitalization of the movie house was like the first. And if they bring in something, even the escape room might bring in some curiosity. Although honestly, escape rooms have never really, I don't know, tell me, maybe in your area they do better out here, but escape rooms are so common and everything else. I think that the big problem with escape rooms is that they need to change every so often, like every, I don't know, every 2-3 months they need to change out what the whole layout of the escape theme is. So if you keep it the same way, it's just not going to do anything well. Oh, and some Chinese company, I think, or bought Castle Golf and the sister company, it escapes me. But they bought Castle Golf and another adjoining entertainment, family-oriented entertainment company. So, Castle Golf is, if you don't know what Castle Golf is, but if you do know what Castle Golf is, and you are from California, it was just basically something that was like started in the 70s and really gained a lot of momentum for my time in the 80s. It was like the popular thing, especially in the summertime. Castle Golf was just basically a building that was shaped kind of like a castle, and it was filled with arcade machines and pinball machines, and skee ball machines, a little snack concession. Some were really small, some were really huge. Nominal kind of food, if you know what I mean. But it had like they had golf court, miniature golf. Some had the trampolines, some had go-karts. Ours, from my hometown, ours was Redondo Beach, over by the old Hughes Aircraft, by the 405, by the Costco. Kind of like a little semi-industrial business sector of Redondo Beach. And they had 2 golf courses on either side. And I remember, I think it was like in the 90s, they had put in like it was a golf cart, but they were expanding quickly. And that's where we used to drop our quarters and everything else. But I don't know. This place needs a lot of concentration, a lot of help. There are a couple of other eateries he was telling me that they're going to put in. But hopefully all of that will start to jump in really quickly this summer. So that's where the boba place is going to be. That's part of what used to be Sephora. And actually right next door to the Starbucks is where the AT&T store is going to be. And AGT is getting ready for their, looks like for their show tonight, for their filming. I don't know if it's going to be exactly like they did the last time when they had the drones and up in the air and stuff like that, but it looks like they're going to do something. It's usually why they only bring out those big booms, is when they're going to do a presentation. Whether it's the ending, I don't know. The last time that they did that filming over there, they closed off the whole street on green, just a section, and then they had the drones flying up, if you remember, because we were upstairs filming. I think that was the closing of the show, so could very well be. Do not know. Simon's down. Wednesday morning and it's all drizzly. Much cooler today. It's supposed to clear out. A little bit warmer today. A little bit, not much, but it's drizzly. So here's AT&T now. This used to be the GNC. Just a small little shop. Santa Anita Mall. Just as, well, not so much as drizzly, but it is a bit dreary. Hey, did you guys hear Forever 21's like going kaputs? I hadn't heard of that. There's a lot of businesses going down. I miss living and working on the east side of Rosemead Boulevard. Honestly, I think if I were to ask my ex if working here at the mall was better than working at the center, I think she would have said definitely working here was a lot more fun, even though we were both working 2 jobs. But I don't know, it's just a lot more livelier. I remember when she got promoted to the center, she was exhausted. She was totally elated and happy. But then after a while, it was just taking a toll on her, because just sitting at the visitor center, behind the desk, day in, day out, just, it wasn't the same. Ranch Market. It's so weird to see a market inside of this mall. If you were to tell me back in the 80s and 90s that there were going to be a supermarket here, I'd have said, you're crazy, not at a mall. Oh, that's new. It's nice. So is that for the valet. And yes, horsies, because it's themed after Santa Anita Park. Where the famous Seabiscuit used to reside. The hell was that? Definitely still a lot of vendors in here. Acai. Ooh, what's coming? It is Kura? This was a, holy cow, it's going to be huge. A lot bigger than what was here. The footprint is enormous. Hey, Bolero. Oh, I didn't know. So we got Bolero and David, but yeah, it's been like easily 2-3 years since I've been here. But that used to be like a Mexican restaurant that they opened up. It's much smaller footprint. Much smaller. But everything's Asian now. It's like I said, everything's Asian. Everything else is just now Asian. And that's to accommodate, well, it's crazy. Ah, yes. The pizza place back of the 80s and 90s. Panda Express originated here in Pasadena. I still got the crappy Mickey D's over here. Even the tables are different. God, I remember this place right here in the 80s. Holy mother of God. It was a... Oh, they took Mickey D's out. If you worked at the mall, you really never got much of a discount. Holy crap, that is a huge footprint. That place has changed. Mickey D's used to be where that boarded up place is. GameStop's still here. Daniels. The Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory still over here. Johnny Rockets is gone. That's where Chick-fil-A is now. That used to be Johnny Rockets. Spencer's is still there, although that used to be located more on the inner part of the... No. Rocky Mountain is gone? Yeah, Rocky Mountains is gone. That used to be right here where Gilly Hicks is. Just this little space. They got the gilded bird cages. Dippin' Dots is still here. Dippin' Dots from an establishment like this is better than getting it at the that's already prepackaged. Claire's still here. Penny's is still here. Yay, Penny's! Little play place for the kids. Oh, my daughter loved this place. Where's the Boston baked beans? Boston baked beans, Boston baked beans. You dirty. Yeah. It's all she. I prefer the look of the 80s. It's prom time. Don't forget Jazzy Jam. Jazzy Jam Glam in Pasadena, young folks. If you can't afford it. And I still haven't heard anything about the one that they usually do in Los Angeles. Oh, they added some more foliage. Oh yeah, they did. This used to be Yankee. Yeah, they remodeled this. There used to be Yankee Candles right there at Francesca's. They used to have an elevator. I guess they took that out because because these generations don't know how to operate if it were to suddenly stop. Growing up with technology, people are not all that too bright. Now I will explain and I will show you. Well, for better context, is it this one? I think it was, yeah, it was this right here. This used to be my store. I used to be one of the assistant managers, one of four assistant managers here. This used to be the Bombay company. And then up in that area, that section right there used to be Williams-Sonoma. I think Williams-Sonoma was pushed out over on the like the open area. But I used to work there and here. And I ended up leaving Williams-Sonoma to better focus on the Bombay company because I was going to get a bonus at the end. Bombay company had filed for like chapter whatever, full bankruptcy, and they couldn't get together. So when I got hired, it was like 2-3 days later that my boss, Chris, he's like, Charlie, I just hired you and everything, assistant manager and everything. But I gotta tell you, the word just came down from corporate that the company's gonna finally go under. They're throwing their hands up in the air. But I do wanted to ask you if you wanted to stay, and if you do. Now, this is a given because the managers that already exist here, if they stay on with the full entire closing of this location, they are going to get, I think it was a $2,500 bonus. And I said, yeah, sure. He says, I can't guarantee you to get the bonus because you just got hired prior to the announcement. I go, no, that's fine. If, he says, but I can promise you as many hours as you can. And that was the hours, just, he was no lying. He was, because they wanted to eliminate the entire stock. So I stayed on. And no, he did. Yeah, he vied for me and everything. And yeah, I got, it was $2,400 and something odd. Well, on the last paycheck, because they had assumed everything, our bonus and our extra hours and a little bit of severance pay, all of that, aside from my regular pay, that was separate, thank God. But that bonus check, when I opened it up, the last final check went entirely to child support, to my first marriage. Needless to say, I was very depressed, very bummed, and very scared to tell my wife, my second wife, Well, Carrie and the kids got our check. Because we had plans for that check. We were going to fix up our truck and we needed to fix the truck. So, life. That's why I want to get out of California. California is just... Didn't I Fung opened up. Williams-Sonoma's was right here. And they had remodeled it. When they were doing the remodel, they opened all this out. This extends out to the outside, kind of like open promenade area. And this mall has become like the Galleria. And like a lot of malls, they have taken the turn for the more affluent person, the person that has a credit card versus a debit card, if you understand what I mean. They just... I promise you, this did not look like this before. This whole area right here that we're walking on, with the exception of this corridor, all of this open area they added. And I remember when they were going to do that when I was still working down here, that they had plans on opening this up, and I'm like, whoa, are they going to be able to extend and open second? And they did actually a good job, because they were even saying it was going to be kind of iffy. The other job that I had started, we had a kiosk over here. That's the way we first opened up Crocs. I helped open up Crocs over here when we had a little kiosk. Terry Crews and his wife come here a lot. I met Terry Crews and I spoke to him a couple of times. Really nice guy. He is funny. I don't know who Terry Crews is. He's the big black burly dude from White Chicks. That's Terry Crews. This used to be the Disney store. And when Disney stores were starting to fall, they folded up. My ex's first job was over here at Gymboree, and then she got another one with another job, the second job, downstairs at a kids store called what is it? Oh, a children's place. And then the other job that I had worked over here, oh my god, that's right, I did have 3 jobs. To be honest, I do miss working at the mall. I never worked at a mall when I was a teenager. Until as I got older, then I started. And even working at a mall at an older age was so much more fun. This front right here, this is where the first job that I had. This was Old Navy. This whole place was Old Navy. And I used to open up in the morning, and I detested the smell of Auntie Anne's because it was always the rising yeasty dough, and it, after around like 10 o'clock in the morning, it started to smell like I don't know. Pretzel bread is more pungent, more yeasty, and more fragrant, and it smelled like old beer left in the sun. It just had that deteriorating smell. I was trying to remember what this place was. Now I remember. It was a papyrus stationery store. It's a huge one. This is Nordy's. Well, it's what we call Nordstrom's. I don't know if they still do here. If they still do it, but during the holidays, they have a grand piano that they bring up over here, and they have someone playing. All right. This is the outdoor of the this was added, started adding what, 8, 9 years ago? At first I kind of didn't like it, but actually it's not so bad. That's the Nordstrom's entrance coming through Tin Dai Fung. And they have like a little kids area over here. It is a nice place to be during the summertime. And there's a lot of more eateries out here and shopping. And they had the Monkey Bar. The Monkey Bar was a great place over there. It's more of a lounge. So this section of the mall is called the Shops at Santa Anita. They got the fire department over there. That's Huntington over there. This is Baldwin. And the 210 is directly behind us. Look at the Tweedles. Tweedles. You doity Tweedles. Turtles. They're like thinking I'm gonna feed them. I got some small koi. Here's another turtle. Oh, just lounging and basking. Ooh, look at this one. Oh, it's a baby one. It looks like he must have been partying all night. Oh, looks like they're working on the kids' place. Ooh, need some serious TLC. And Macy's. With the exception, with the exception of the department stores, you know, being all nice and fancy and everything as it should be, just like, you know, Macy's should be, Nordstrom's and everything. That's the direction that they went with the interior part of the mall. They wanted to be a little bit more high class, a little more highfalutin. We don't really necessarily welcome or want the riffraff, but if they have the money to spend, foolishly enough, we'll accommodate them and, you know, take their earnings. The two words that any teenager would always look for when entering a mall. So instead of escalators, they put stairs because this is for the generation that has grown up in technology, not really so much as with technology. I am one of the generation that grew up into and with technology. There's several videos out there and memes. The videos actually say it all. It shows people on an escalator going up and down in both directions, up and down. And then all of a sudden, you hear a chunk and the escalator stops. And everybody's like freaking out. They're looking up and down and all around in each other, and they're holding and they're crying and they're freaking, having anxiety attacks because they don't know what to do. What do? The escalator stopped. I can't go anywhere. How am I going to get up? How am I going to get down? That's aimed at you younger folks, because you guys don't even really know how to work your cell phone. So no, I wouldn't get upset. I think it's funny. I mean, how do you guys still consider Gen Xers baby boomers? Can't even work your phone and you don't even know the difference. This little cafe bakery is the bomb. They have, oh my God, their croissants and pastries, yum. And the 99 Ranch Market. This is a great ranch market. You want great meat? You want char siu? This is where you come. Oh, that was for St. Patty's Day. You know, honestly, I can't remember what was over here now. Because this whole section over here, when they did the remodel, they opened all of this up. This never used to exist. It was just basically coming through this whole section from that end to up over here to that was one big department store. And I honestly can't remember. This didn't exist. They used to have, like during the holidays, a little Christmas holiday train that would come around here. Topic, well, this one's been here for a good 10 years, but Hot Topic used to be more on the inside, just like Spencer's used to be more on the main hallway over there, but on this side of the wall, so on the south side of the wall. AMC movie theaters is upstairs. Dave Buster's is upstairs. Kakamura. Kakamura. And the food court is, well, as it is, a food court is always ever changing. But the biggest one that I've seen is, this used to be McDonald's. Very expensive. I think most mall employees used to get something like, I don't know, 10% off their meal. Nasi's Kebab, that's been here for a while. And this has changed over the years. The last I remember, this used to be like a little ice cream shop. And that's pretty much it. It's not as busy or populous as Glendale Galleria. But then again, we've been here early this morning, so I don't know really how it is on the weekends. Just to be fair. Audience participation. I gotta tell you, it almost looks like the back lot. I mean, the back lot at Universal. Cool, they got a marching band. And they're setting the stage, so to speak. It's probably going to be maybe an opener or something, or maybe a midway show part. It's a lot colder than, it says 60 degrees, but it feels so much more colder.